Everyone, this is Geneva, and this time my sister asked me to make a steampunk themed wedding card. I had Graphic 45's Old Curiosity Shop and Timeless Type Stack from DC or DW, whatever, DWCV, DCWV. I used one sheet of the Timeless Type. You'll see it in a second. The first thing I did was on the Old Curiosity Shop is I cut out that lovely skate with the peacock feathers and green feathers in it and the beautiful flourishes. I use a craft knife, and this is from my old newspaper days when I used to have to cut the color on ads. If you're going to do it this way, make sure that you have a fresh, nice sharp blade in your craft knife. And don't have to press very hard. Take your time. It works. Fussy cutting, as you know, is time consuming. When I finished cutting this out, I gave it 2 coats of ultra thick clear embossing powder. It gave it the stability I wanted and a little extra shine, so it just stood out. I also put it up on dimensionals, which you'll see later. There it is, all covered with beauty. Like I said, I did 2 layers. I ended up cutting off part of that flourish by the heel. It was just too wide for the card. Okay, now for the base of the card you need to cut a strip 4 by 12, and then for the card face, one at 4 by 6. Your base you need to score. I use a ball tool. I got a set of them ages ago online for not a lot of money. You score at 6 and 9 inches. That gives you the folds for your easel card. Looking for my bone folder. Okay, I like rounded edges. I use my chomper. I use the 1/4 inch rounder. I think it leaves a cleaner, more professional look. There's how the easel card will stand. I want to credit Ann'sPaperCreations.com for the inspiration. She did a really cute steampunk Halloween card, and I got the idea from her. When my sister asked me for this card, I was absolutely stumped. Steampunk wedding. I went, oh, okay, there's got to be something out there that will, help me come up with an idea for this card for her. And I really like Ann's Paper Creations. If you don't know of her, she's worth a visit. She's a graphic 45 designer. I don't know how long she's been at this, but she is amazing. Here I'm inking the edges with Ranger's Distress Inks, tea dye. That and Faded Burlap are my two favorite colors for the brown distress. And you'll notice I flipped it over and did both sides. I do that when on the edges, just because it looks better. You actually make sure you get all of the outer edge of the paper. Now out of the Timeless Type stack, I found the paper I wanted for the background, which is this beautiful music score with a rose embossed on it. Really pretty. And that's the part I want for my face. And I'll use the other end of it for the base of the card. And here I'm deciding how I want to cut it. First I got to get that extra strip off the top. I want to get the entire full bloom rose. I didn't want to cut that off, so I moved it over so I had the rose, and then I will turn the paper over and cut it to the size I need, which is 375 by 575. 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now the base mat, I cut at 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and if your paper isn't heavy enough, and most of it really isn't, just cut another strip the same width, significantly shorter, so you have just a little wedge to put under that paper at the top so your card will catch on it. I didn't do that because, as you'll see later, I'm using a Tim Holtz metal tag, message tag, to be a message and to hold the easel card in its open position. Now here I'm trimming the corners again with the 1/4 inch corner, and I did only the bottom corners of the base mat. Again, inking the edges with the tea dye Distress. if anybody's curious, that's 1/2 inch tape on the tape gun, and I purchased both from thetapejungle.com, and the rolls of tape were inexpensive. The tape gun was relatively inexpensive. It's one of the best finds I've ever had. Now the 1/2 inch tape is a lot stickier than the 1/4 inch, so you have to be, pretty confident of your skill to place it, because once it's down, it is not coming up. Okay, next thing is I use a fine tip glue bottle to apply my perfect paper adhesive. It's really runny, and you don't need a lot of it, so the tip of the bottle is like, well, it has a bigger hole in it than the Elmer's glue bottle when it comes to you in its own package. So I just put it in one of these needle nose bottles, and it goes a long ways. It is my favorite paper to paper, will not leave a stain glue. It dries relatively quickly, but not so quickly that if you need to reposition it, you can't. I'm using the brayer to get the page down nice and firm. Okay, now I've got the dimensionals on the back of that boot, and I use a lot of them. I make my own. I use foam and a Zryon, and just run the foam through twice, so it's sticky on both sides, and I have any size of dimensional I want. Okay, that's down. Looking good. Not pretty. Definitely steampunk, but not dark. So it, more light for a wedding. Now I'm going to add my embellishments. I have a metal tag. It's a bird cage with a heart on it. I don't remember if it's a Michaels brand or if it's a Tim Holtz. I just don't remember. Now I'm going to punch a hole with my whatever that tool is. It punches lovely holes. I have some pewter heart brads. I'm going to use that to attach the metal tag to the card. Again, I chose pewter instead of brass just for a little bit of lightness. I'm going to put 3 at the bottom. Just to finish the card off. I don't add anything else to the front. It's it just felt done by the time I got the other 3 pewter hearts on. It's time to adhere that to the base of the card. I forgot to cover the back of the face card. Probably should do it at this time. I recover and just cover the exposed part. Here I'm using Eileen's tacky glue. It works for me for a, a lot of things I adhere, gems, pearls, you know, where you're not going to see it. It's a hugely strong adhesive. It dries relatively quickly. It is maneuverable. And it's just one of my favorites. It has been for years. I used it in my fabric crafting. Okay. So, there it is, standing up all proud. I have no idea what I'm looking for. Ah, the metal tag. Okay, again I'll use the Eileen's tacky glue to adhere that. Now, some people might use hot glue here, but I find this much better. And that will hold that card open. It's a great stopper, and it was a sweet sentiment. Okay. Now we're not done. We have more to do. Here's a look-see of how it looks to this point. Okay, I cut a butterfly off of the, what is the page called? Don't know. Cut the strip off. But it's from one of the pages of the Old Curiosity Shop. And I just cut out this big beautiful yellow butterfly. I'm putting glue on 3 corners. On the one that will be towards the center of the paper on the top, I did not put glue on because this is going to be a pouch to put a little booklet in, which is where she gets to write her sentiment. And I cut this out of the Old Curiosity Shop papers as well. I'm going to round the corners. Again with the 1/4 inch rounder from my corner chomper. Again, tea dye. Could use black on here if you wanted to. Either way would work. I'm measuring it so I can cut a piece of paper to line the inside so you can write your sentiment in there. Looking for my scrap of paper. I cut it a 1/4 inch smaller, an 1/8 inch will work. I do that sometimes when I want just a very small border, but a 1/4 inch just felt right for this, and it looks great. Now if you want to do multiple pages in here, you could. I would probably bind them with string or something, do a couple of holes in the fold where the spine would be and just tie some string. But I just did a single flat layer and adhered it directly to the cover. Again, I'm using my tape gun that I got at Tape Jungle. This is really a lot cheaper than the ones you buy at the craft store. The rolls of tape are a lot less expensive, and they sell tape that fits the pink tape guns. The Scotch ATG. I mean that stuff's expensive to buy, and it's like $2.50. I scored this down the middle, so I could easily fold it. And I like to score where the bubble is the side that I'm folding in. It seems to fold easier. Now there you see the little card tucked in the butterfly. Very cool. And my sister loved it. You can see you don't have to use all the same color papers on the back. I just did. If you watch Anna's video, you'll see where she put a tag on the back. She did a little more than I did. There you go. Hope this inspires you. Have a fabulous day. Come visit me on my blog, www.koalacat.com, anytime. Comments are welcome. See you soon.